Peace, power, and positivity. Welcome to episode 9 or 10 of the Me So Selfish Experience, man. Yes, I think I finally come not full circle, but more or less come all the way around after contemplating where I want to pivot. Obviously, week to week in discussions of you know what I like to talk about. On the pod. For me personally, right? Um the last few months have been a trying time just because I'm trying to figure out why where the confusion is coming from, and not just my own confusion but confusion in general, like amongst our people, amongst other people, just altogether confusion. Oops. Yeah. And I think what I overall what I mean is I think about how our brain works, how we evolve as a species, and I think about what's necessary in order for that evolution, right? I think about the skills that our ancestors had, right? Even though we're in a times where things are quote unquote easier for us, I wouldn't necessarily say we're using that to our advantage. Like back in the in the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, they had to memorize where they were going. They had to, damn it, they had to memorize where, like, phone numbers. They had to memorize just little things, cooking, cleanings, just little skill sets, intangible things on a day-to-day life that we just don't have anymore, right? We don't practice these things, and we don't uphold these things and standardize these things in order, excuse me. It seems like we don't take these things, we took those things for granted. Those type of things that, our parents and their parents did. Sorry, yeah. Like what our parents did used to do, Jesus. What our parents used to do and what their parents used to do, right? Like I feel like they paved such a way for us to now we were supposed to take the torch and take all of our skills, traditions, and not only evolve with them, but we're supposed to make them better and more accessible for us given the tools and the things that are utilized, right? But we don't, for whatever reason, because I feel like all these things ended up these devices ended up being more hurtful for our culture than helpful in a way, right? Like obviously with the growing social media, growing um media in general, right? Our phones, apps and all these things, like we have access and tools, like I said, to make beautiful things. Like we're able to create on an all-time high, but also with all these things come the distractions, right? And I think we used the distraction portions of these new things in today's society, right? Instead of using that for the betterment of our evolution, right? And for evolutionary purposes. It's just used as a means to settle our comfort. And I feel like it would be better if it wasn't like that, but unfortunately that's just where we're at in time, right? Like 60s, 70s, 80s, again, they had skill sets. They weren't bogged down with a whole lot of distractions, social medias in general, like I said, YouTube's, Netflix, all this extra bullshit, right? All these just everything in general. So the focus on getting shit done was at the forefront, especially for black people, right? Especially for people of color. So it makes me think, like, and it also should make other people think too, what took away from that focus? Why did all of a sudden, right, there is no Black Panther movement? There aren't these things set in place for people of color in their communities to be able to bounce back and recuperate from slavery, Jim Crow, uh, black laws, and things of that nature. So where did the generation what happened in that Generation X millennial era, right? That stopped that innovation in that thought in that direction of pushing for black evolution instead of cohesion amongst everybody, right? Which not a bad thing, but think about all the the negative outcomes that ingratiating everything and everybody has come to. Like, again, I'm not a racist person. I'm not trying to come out here and say white people are the devil and shit like that, even though there is a lot of proof that says otherwise. But not going to go there. What I'm here to say is that things were heading in a better direction when we were caring for ourselves. And when we continue to care for ourselves and do for ourselves, things tend to go in the right direction. Things go into the wrong direction when we keep integrating certain groups of white individuals who don't take our culture seriously and just bite and vulture off of it. That's where shit starts to get dicey, right? You know what I mean? That's when we ingratiate certain people into our spaces that they then incorporate their ideas and their bullshit, and we latch onto it and think it's cool when it's not. And then it gives them opinions, it gives them authority, it gives them the sense of, oh, I know what I'm talking about because I'm backed by black people and they're allowing me in their space. 2026, no more cookout invites. Should have been done 2025, 2024, but now no more cookout invites. I'm sorry. Unless you're for the culture for real, and unless you're for betterment of black people, not just when it's necessary for you and not when it's been only when it's beneficial for you and whatever it is that you got going on, don't fuck with us. Like, leave us alone. Cause we be leaving other people alone. We don't be in other people's business like that. But everybody wants to be around black people and be with what's popping because they know where the source, bro. They know people of color is the source. That's where all the vibes check. That vibe check. That's where all the vibes is at. That's where all the souls at. That's where all the energies at. They know. People know. People can feel that shit. And so I'm not letting y'all take away our energy like that no more. Like, dead ass. That shit's got to stop this year. But I say all that to say, like, because of these distractions, because of these things that are set in place, it's harder for us to have. It's harder for us to stay focused on the task at hand, which is, again, communion, restoration, and liberation of our people. And the things that are standing in the way of that are the distraction pieces that I'm talking about. Again, being bogged down by these day-to-day things is going to continue to de-evolutionize us as creatures, as beings, right? Because the next generation is only getting more and more brain rotted. And before we know it, communication's going to get lost. Things are going to be misinterpreted and lost in translation. And guess what gets lost in translation over generations because we're not able to communicate them? Traditions. And when traditions get lost, guess what else get lost? Culture. And it's just that easy. And it's just that easy because we're not focused. And we're not focused because we don't care. Let's call it what it is. As a whole, we don't care. People of color, we really don't care. And that's the whole premise of this podcast for me, y'all. And I'm sorry, like, you guys are gonna see the camera cut in and out. I apologize for it. But the message remains important that we need to get back to caring first. That should be the first thing. Care. Care about the future. Care about yourself. Care about the person next to you. Care about your kids. Care about your neighbors. Care about your friends, whatever. And also be intentional. We can't just keep living life idly, just strictly off of the vibes and off of, you know what I'm saying, just fun, just having. No, we need to stop being comfortable. We need to do something. We need to be about something. We're about to go into World War III. And now, you know what I'm saying, more than ever is the time to be unified. Because the more we keep just capitulating and the more we keep just going with the flow of things, we're going to die. We need to do a better job with taking advantage of the resources and things at our disposal. And we have to carry the torch and do things that is necessary in order to evolve in our culture and in our black spirituality. I get it's kind of a convoluted and it's kind of very much a lack of better terms, is easier said than done. But it takes these incremental steps and these incremental things in order for change to actually be sustainable and actually be able to happen. My job and what I'm going to try to do my best at is, again, be able to reference my perspective and the things that I care about, and also to just try to find the middle ground with how I'm going to direct my son and then quote unquote the generations to come in the way of bettering that, and also two, just try to figure out how to just make myself be a vessel for this as much as possible, given the times that we're in, where again, well, on the cusp of World War III, civilly, as far as just within the United States, it's a lot of division. So one thing that again that will always be pushed to the forefront is restoration, communion, and liberation of people of color. And as I continue to do this and continue to do the work and continue to grow day to day and figure this out day to day, I ask for your guys' patience. I ask for your guys' support, and um, just know I understand like the tasks and the things that are ahead of us. And because I understand that, I understand the responsibility that comes with it, and I'm not shying away from it or scared of it, right? Because we're gonna come into times where things are gonna be mushed up, things are gonna be confusing, things are gonna be manipulated. And I don't want anybody to be confused or be thrown into stuff because of the confusion, and be cooped up into something that they don't want to be cooped up and capitulate in just because they simply don't know. That's a scary sight. And I don't want that for my son. I don't want that for other kids and other people's kids. And I don't want that for the people that I love and the people that I care about. And that's why I take this shit so serious. And that's why it always will be that deep for me. I get, again, I will say this almost every episode where I get serious like this is I completely understand this is not everybody's fight. This is not something that I anticipate anybody and everybody to care about. But if you're gonna talk about it, be about it too. Don't half-ass say you care about black people, um, Asian people, indigenous people, people of color. Don't say you care about us, but then you're gonna half-ass do the work when shit starts really going down, because that's when we're gonna need people the most. And I don't want there to be any distinction or confusion with who's on our side. And I don't want anybody to reap the benefits of a great conclusion, if there is one, knowing damn well they were idle and didn't give a fuck or even plant their flag and even really try to help better the community and better what's going on in our situation. Because that's bullshit too. Don't play the fence. Don't be on our side again when it's beneficial, and don't be for black people and for black culture just because it's cool and it's the fun thing to do. Be about us and be for us because it's the right thing to fucking do, bro. Point blank period. Point blank period. No more fucking cookout invites. No more just accepting people just because they just happen to sing a couple of lyrics right. Don't just have people ingratiated in our spaces just because they're a vibe. Fuck that shit, bro. Fuck that, bro. So with all that being said, we are back and we're focused. I'm focused. It's gonna take some time, obviously, to really get back in the swing of things, and move into the direction, to the spaces I want to ingratiate myself in, as far as being a pillar within just my own unit, right? And kind of again the incremental improvements towards a betterment for my son's future. And that's all I can really ask for, and I hope for that, and I'm pushing for that as well. Yeah, this is pretty much just again a part two to the quick eruption. Unfortunately, you guys, there still is some technical difficulties. I'm still working with, but we're gonna figure it out. We're gonna get it bopping. We're gonna what I'm saying, slowly but surely, day by day, get it operable, and you know figure it out. But if I could leave you guys with anything, and kind of maybe going forward, maybe a nugget to think about is: one, common sense isn't common, so we got to deal with that. Two, again, no more cookout invites. Three, be mindful and really be intentional with the way you go about life from this moment forward, because everything you do will have a purpose and will have repercussions, whether you see it or not, in the next 5 to 10 years. That if you didn't do something now, it will play out potentially negatively, and not just your life, but the people around you's life and the people you care about's lives as well. And because I want the best for you guys all out there who support me, it kind of is, again, it runs that deep to me, and it always will be that deep because I care. Point blank period. But that's been the Miso Selfish Experience, episode 10. I don't know, because I did a few episodes. So I don't even know if I'll number this shit anymore, because who gives a damn? Another episode. What's to look forward to? Shit, you'll see. Fuck it. Peace out.